Legislative Day number 17 will now come to order. As we rise for a moment of silent meditation, please take a moment to remember two prominent Baltimore leaders that passed away over the last several days. Yesterday we lost former mayor of Baltimore, Tommy D'Alessandro III. He was part of a great political family and was mayor from 1967 to 1971. He stayed active in the area and called Baltimore home for his entire life. We offer our sincere condolences to his family, including his sister, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. We also lost Congressman Elijah Cummings, who passed away suddenly last Thursday. He was a Baltimore native who spent over 3 decades of his life in public service in the Maryland House of Delegates and in the U.S. Congress. He was a larger-than-life figure in state and national politics and was a true leader in the fight for civil rights and social justice. And most importantly, he believed in the future of Baltimore. His death is also very personal for me because we shared office space for our district offices in the same building on Main Street in Catonsville. He leaves a tremendous legacy for all of us to follow and will truly be missed. So I ask that you all keep his family and also Tommy D'Alessandro's family in your thoughts and prayers. And thank you as we have this moment of silence. I will now call upon Councilman Marks, who will introduce the Boy Scout troop, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Councilman Marks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to have Special Needs Troop 730 come forward. The troop is chartered to the White Oak School in the Parkville area. Good job. Thank you very much.
Is there a motion to approve the journal for the meeting of October 7th, 2019?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The journal is approved. Bills 42-19, 43-19, 44-19, and 45-19 were passed by the council, signed by the executive, and are hereby enrolled. Mr. Secretary, we now read all bills for introduction, please.
Mr. Chair, Bill 55-19, entitled General Obligation Bonds. Bill 56-19, Capital Budget 209-209-P894, Owings Mills Center, CCBC. Bill 57-19, sponsored by Councilman Catch, the Building Code of Baltimore County Agricultural Buildings. And Bill 58-19, sponsored by Councilman Marks, conveyance of property, governments, and nonprofit entities.
Council will now consider all bills for final reading and vote. Mr. Secretary, first bill, please.
First is Bill 46-19, Personnel Law of Baltimore County.
And we have Shelley Simon to testify. Oh, okay. If you would like to come on up. And good evening.
So just read the bill. An act concerning personnel law of Baltimore County for the purpose of providing for certain changes to the Baltimore County classification and compensation plans by amending certain pay schedules, changing certain job classifications, job titles, codes, and grades, amending certain personnel rules and regulations, providing for the effective date of this act, altering certain salaries, and generally related to the governance and compensation of the personnel of Baltimore County government. By repealing and reenacting with amendments, Pay Schedule 7. Okay, so what do I have to do? Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, what? What the bill does, it adds to Pay Schedule 7, grade 26P. That was not there before. And also, the next pay schedule is effective June 30th, 2020, and that is including pay schedule or grade 26P, and also includes a 2% cost of living across the board. And it also, the classification and grades for captain, the current pay grade is 20P, and they would like to propose a pay grade of 21P. Major is currently a 22P, and would like to propose a pay grade of 23P. Same with Colonel, is currently a 24P, and would like to propose a pay grade of 25P. And Deputy Chief of Police, the current grade is 25P, and would have a proposed pay grade of 26P. And it also revises holiday pay for pay schedule 8, and it includes time and a half for times worked on the holidays, and also provides a shift differential as well.
Any questions or comments from the council? Councilman Patoka.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a comment. In these salary upgrades, during the work session, I asked if Local 1311, who's represented here for their firefighters union, and also the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 4, felt comfortable with these adjustments, and there was an affirmation to that, and I just want to share that with my council members, that our firefighters and police unions are comfortable with this motion.
Any other questions or comments?
Chairman.
Yes,
I'd like to
Ms.
comment.
Rogers.
Good evening, everyone. Being new to the meet and confer process here in the county, I do want to affirm that we worked, Mr. Vetter and I worked closely with the representatives for the meet and confer activities, and some of these items were long-standing, particularly with some of the senior staff, and we worked in good faith to try to address things that have been long-standing.
I do appreciate the administration's work along with our police and firefighters. Any other questions or comments? All righty. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 46-19.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks? Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Bill 46-19 is passed. Thank you very much. Mr. Secretary, next bill, please.
Bill 47-19 is sponsored by Councilman Patoka, zoning regulations, assisted living facilities.
Councilman Patoka.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Bill 4719 will allow assisted living in a BL zone, and really this bill is what I would frame up as a data-driven bill. If you ask the planning department what the demographics are in the Pikesville Commercial Revitalization Area study, they would say that over 1/3 of residents in that study area are over 65 years of age, and the fastest growing age cohort is 54 to 64. So that age cohort is moving into becoming older adults, and so we need to have facilities that meet the needs of our population, and that particular area of the 2nd District is growing with older adults, and so assisted living is allowed in VR, in RO, and ROA, and RAE, and BR zones, BM zones, and even OR2 zones. But it's not allowed in BL zones, and this bill would adjust it so that assisted living facilities would be permitted in a BL zone, and it's specific to the Pikesville Commercial Revitalization Area.
Any questions or comments from the members for Councilman Patoka? All right, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 47-19.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks? Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Bill 47-19 is passed. Mr. Secretary,
you.
next bill, please.
Next is Bill 48-19, sponsored by Councilman Marks, zoning regulations, security guard booths.
Councilman Marks.
Thank you very much. This bill permits security guard booths by right in all zones as an accessory use. However, it does identify some conditions. They may not be located less than 10 feet away from any front, side, or rear yard lines. They may not exceed 16 feet in height and may not have a gross floor area larger than 400 square feet.
And are there any questions or comments from the members for Councilman Marks? Everybody good? Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Bill 48-19.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Bill 48-19 is passed. Council will now consider all fiscal matters. Extensive testimony is taken at the council's work session on October 15, 2019. The witnesses who testified at the work session are available to restate their testimony if needed. If a council member has any questions regarding a particular fiscal matter, that item will be discussed as a separate issue. I will now call upon the Secretary to read the cover letter for fiscal matters 1 through 3.
Fiscal Matter 1 is a contract with Integrated Cellular and Molecular Diagnostics, LLC. Fiscal Matter 2 is a contract with Home Paramount Pest Control Company. And Fiscal Matter 3 is an amendment to a contract with Gaudenzia Incorporated for residential substance abuse treatment at the detention center.
And are there any questions or comments from the members? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve fiscal matters 1 through 3?
So moved.
Second.
Been a motion and second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on fiscal matters 1 through 3.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Fiscal matters 1 through 3 are approved. We will now consider miscellaneous business. Mr. Secretary, first item, please.
Mr. Chair, whenever a contract over $25,000 is awarded by a process other than formal competitive bid, it is required that a copy of the contract be given to the County Council and the nature and parties to the contract be announced by the Secretary at the next legislative session following award of the contract. There are 3 such contracts this evening. The first is Van Dyke Baylor Corporation for single stream recycling system in the amount of $934,287. The second is with Maryland Cleaning and Abatement Services Corp. For emergency filter replacement at the indoor police range in the amount of $30,657.04. And the third is with Avion Chesapeake Trucks, LLC for the purchase of a utilities body truck in the amount of $145,000.
Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Next is Resolution 130-19, sponsored by Councilman Catch, expanding the Towson Commercial Revitalization District.
Councilman Couch.
There's an amendment?
Yes. You want to do the amendment first?
Yes.
All right. Why don't we do the amendment?
Yeah.
Mr. Secretary, if you could read the amendment to Resolution 130-19.
The amendment is largely technical, but it does make a minor substantive change to the map that was attached to the original resolution as Exhibit A. It just adds 2 properties at 1209 York Road and an unassigned parcel on York Road. Both have tax ID numbers and are identified in the amendment as such. And again, it just makes a minor change to the actual Exhibit A map.
Any questions or comments from the members on the amendment? Is there a motion to approve the amendment to Resolution 130-19?
So moved.
I'll second.
The motion and second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on the amendment to Resolution 130-19.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
The amendment passes. Councilman Couch?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. This legislation extends the commercial revitalization district along York Road from the Beltway to Seminary Avenue. What I did was, when I put the legislation in, I really limited it to buildings within that corridor that are in desperate need of renovation, ones who their occupancy rate is about 50%, and also Kaiser Permanente is moving out of one of these buildings to Deer Cove Road, and I believe they need some incentive to improve that building to encourage new occupants. So when you look at it, you'll see it excludes some areas, some buildings. So again, what I chose are the buildings that are in need of improvement in order to encourage occupants to move in this area. It's businesses, basically. It's not residential.
Alrighty, and are there any questions or comments for Councilman Catch? Is everybody good?
Yeah,
Councilman
I mean, the one thing I mentioned at the work session is that the Towson Overlay District has very rigid architectural standards. And I think this will improve the design of the future buildings along that corridor.
Right, and that's good. That's a good thing. Absolutely. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Is there a motion to approve Resolution 130-19 as amended?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 130-19 as amended.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Resolution 130-19 as amended is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Next is Resolution 131-19, sponsored by Councilwoman Bevins. This is a resolution to authorize the property tax refund to Gregory Eggleston, who, as a disabled veteran, is entitled to a refund under state law.
It's my honor to move it.
Second.
Been motion second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 131-19.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Resolution 131-19 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 132-19 is sponsored by Councilman Jones. This is a resolution to authorize the property tax refund to Brenda Elijah, who, as a disabled veteran, is entitled to a refund under state law.
It's my honor to move the resolution.
Second.
Been a motion and second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 132-19.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Resolution 132-19 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Next is Resolution 133-19, sponsored by Councilwoman Bevins. This is a resolution to authorize the property tax refund to Dandrick Gallegos, who, as a disabled veteran, is entitled to a refund under state law.
It's my honor to move it.
Second.
Been a motion second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 133-19.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Resolution 133-19 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 134-19 is sponsored by Councilman Marks. This is a resolution to authorize the refund, a property tax refund to Mr. Timothy Sizik, who, as a disabled veteran, is entitled to a refund under state law.
It's my honor to move it.
And I will second it. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 134-19.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Resolution 134-19 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 135-19 is sponsored by Councilman Quirk and is a refund to authorize the property tax refund to Edward Widgeon, who, as a disabled veteran, is entitled to a refund under state law.
Honored to move it.
I'll second.
Been motion and second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 135-19.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Catch?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Resolution 135-19 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 136-19 is sponsored by Councilman Jones, and this is a resolution to authorize the property tax refund to Alfonso Manning, who as a disabled veteran is entitled to a refund under state law.
I'll move the resolution.
Second.
Been a motion and second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 136-19.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Katz?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Resolution 136-19 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 137-19 is sponsored by Councilman Quirk. This is a refund to authorize the property tax refund to Parrish Ackland, who as a disabled veteran is entitled to a refund under state law.
Honored to move it.
I'll second.
Motion and second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 137-19.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Katz?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Resolution 137-19 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 138-19 is sponsored by Councilman Patoka. This is a resolution to authorize the property tax refund to Sherelle Denise Burns, who as a disabled veteran is entitled to a refund under state law.
It's my honor to move this motion forward.
Second.
A motion and second. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll on Resolution 138-19.
Mr. Patoka?
Aye.
Mr. Katz?
Aye.
Mr. Quirk?
Aye.
Mr. Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Marks?
Aye.
Mrs. Bevins?
Aye.
Mr. Crandall?
Aye.
Resolution 138-19 is passed. Mr. Secretary, next item, please.
Resolution 140-19 is sponsored by Councilman Quirk. This is a resolution, and you've probably heard this one before, but it's come back just about a month later because it just needed to be tweaked slightly. This is a resolution to support the designation of the Maryland State Arts Council Arts and Entertainment District for Catonsville for introduction only this evening.
Minor technical tweaking.
More music, Tom?
We've got plenty of live music, and now we're tweaking the Arts and Entertainment District. But, hey, before we adjourn tonight's meeting, I'd also like to recognize the life of someone who is very important to the history of Baltimore County as well. Karen Shelton, who lived in Towson, passed away on October 2nd. Ms. Shelton was the very first female African-American police officer in the history of the Baltimore County Police Department. She was hired to the police force in 1975, 100 years after the department was formed. She was part of a group of 8 other African-American police officers that established the Blue Guardians to address discrimination issues in the department. She served with distinction until retirement in 1993. Ms. Shelton was a true trailblazer, and we offer our warmest thoughts and our deepest condolences to her family. Mr. Secretary, is there any further business to come before the council?
There is no further business other than it is your birthday this week, Mr. Chair.
Oh, thank you. 50. And hopefully 50 more, but thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Just before we adjourn, I want to welcome an outstanding young man who resides in the beautiful 2nd District. Mr. Seth Perlow has joined us to observe our legislative activities. And welcome, Seth.
Great, great. Any other, Councilman Jones?
Yes, I'd like to welcome Leadership Baltimore County. Thanks for coming out tonight, and let us know if you have any questions. We'd be more than happy to answer them for you.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilman Jones. And welcome, Leadership Baltimore County. Any other thoughts, random comments? Councilman Marks, you have anything?
Well,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
how do you feel about this special birthday that we're celebrating this week?
How do I feel about it?
How do you feel about it? It's a special birthday.
I saw him celebrating on Facebook.
Yeah, it's all
At
right.
least a picture of it.
It's a big one. It's a big one. How do you feel about turning the big one?
You know, somebody's got to do it. It's better than the alternative, that's for sure. And I would have wished all of you guys could have been there. I'm sorry, not everybody's invited there, but sorry about that. And I really
Mr. Chair.
you guys
I was
come
there.
out. Yes.
Mr. Chair, I
And
just want to
including-
point out,
including the Republicans.
I just want to point out that I am younger than you.
Yes, I
Just want to make sure that you understand that for the record.
You know, I like to, maybe it's not too late, but Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we have a party at your house in celebration of your birthday, maybe Saturday?
There you go.
Saturday's good?
Yeah, I kind of like the party idea. I could do it again. I think Councilman Marks, I think you're the youngest, I think, on this. Yeah. I don't think.
10 years older than the county executives.
That's right. That's right. All righty. Anybody else? Everybody good?
That was a good comment about the county executive.
And is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
And is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned, but as is customary, anyone who signed up prior to the meeting with the secretary is allowed 3 minutes to speak. Mr. Secretary, are there any speakers signed up for this evening?
We do have one speaker, Mr. Chair.
All righty. All right, Gloria Kelly, you have up to 3 minutes to speak. If you'd like to come on up to the, what do we call that? The batter box? What do we call that? The chair? Come up to the podium. Help me out, Pastor.
The table, the witness table.
The table.
Table with
The witness table? I like that.
Ms. Bevins, gentlemen.
Yeah, and good evening.
Thank you for having me. I just wanted to ask a question because I was a little bit confused on this approval for Gaudenzia. They said that they were going to reduce the recidivism by 10%. Gaudenzia is an evidence-based practice, and I was wondering what evidence they had shown you that was going to reduce the recidivism.
I believe.
This is just a time to, you can speak up to 3 minutes. It's really not the time to ask questions, but if you have a comment or a thought that you'd like to communicate, we're happy to hear it.
Well, as I said, they're an evidence-based practice, and they said they were going to reduce the recidivism by 10%, but I wanted to know if they actually showed you any evidence by changing treatment plans or increasing physicians' time at the facility or hiring a medical doctor. Did they show you any of that to prove that they were going to reduce the recidivism?
Councilman Jones?
Yes, ma'am. First of all, we thank you for coming out and thank you for your interest. Unfortunately, any evidence that they would provide would probably go to the health department. As a county council, we take advice and consent from the medical director, Dr. Branch, and when he comes forth and says that this is a program that's necessary and needed, we, based on the experience with him and knowledge, we trust that they've done all of those things. So if there's any questions, those type of questions probably should be directed to the health department.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Councilman Jones. Anybody else? Councilman Patoka, then Katz?
Sure. I would just want to share, sorry. Ma'am, could I ask your
Ms.
name
Kelly?
again? Ms. Kelly? Ms. Kelly, hi. Izzy Patoka? Hi. I just wanted to share with you that I've toured Gaudenzia facilities on several occasions and was very impressed with their ability to implement treatment for people that had substance abuse. And I do think that I think it was two times I've toured their facilities, was very impressed with their capabilities in addressing the epidemic that we're facing with drug addiction.
And I want to add that...
Ms. Kelly?
Yeah, I
Councilman
want to
Katz.
add that for the last month, I have tried to set a meeting with them, with a constituent who has some serious concerns about them, and so far I've not been successful in setting this meeting up. And I wasn't impressed with the 10% reduction in recidivism.
Any other thoughts or comments?
Mr.
Councilman
Chair,
Crandall?
if I may, thank you for your question. If I am not mistaken, I believe in the work session we did ask of Dr. Branch if there is required reporting and measurement in the contract, and I believe the answer was in the affirmative to that, if I'm not mistaken. Is that the case, Mrs. Rogers? Okay.
Correct. Councilmember Catch, we're happy to facilitate that discussion. I was unaware that you have not been able to reach them, and Councilmember Crandall, we're more than happy to do follow-up with Dr. Branch to give detail on what the performance metrics are.
Thank you very much. And I have a constituent who's very knowledgeable with the company, et cetera.
Sure.
I guess Mr. Chairman, I guess the question, it begs the question, is there any evidence to suggest that they cannot do it? Are you saying that they're not doing it, or what was the gist of the question? Thank you.
Any other thoughts or comments? All right, I will get together with the council secretary, and we will try to find a good date and time for a holiday party. So how about that? We'll have a little holiday party, which will be kind of fun, and I'll help to underwrite it someplace, some undisclosed place. All righty, on that note, everyone have a safe drive home, and thanks for coming out tonight. Take care. Bye-bye.